Hi guys, and sveiki to all the Latvians, and hello to everyone who are real people there at all. Actually, I was checking the list and I saw I kind of know a lot of people taking part of this event. So I guess there are some real people here, like in the movies, you know, there's the same to picture your audience like naked or something, right? But I just try to picture yourself like being there at all, that I'm not talking to myself here and and just to a few organizers. So I'm Mihkel Urmet, an architect from Estonia, and telling you a story about our this one project we took part of called HiTimber project, the future of high rises. And I hope you can see my screen well and everything works and you can hear me. So let's continue from there. First, I'm going to do you like a small overview of my talk, like some kind of introduction part where I tell you like who's who on a project, why did we do it, and what was going on. Then some stuff like what was the project even all about, and why did why was it even created, and so on. And then of course the results, like where did we end up with a project, because usually that's the most important stuff to to get to somewhere else. So shortly about me, because there was like a few people here on the conference who haven't met me before. I'm Mihkel Urmet, or Michael, however. And I'm like this timber guy, being at the same time an architect. So like really into nature and stuff, and having this philosophical belief that we can fix this spaceship we are traveling on, which is called the planet Earth, taking it from this Fuller's philosophy, and somehow I feel that in our architectural way, choosing the timber and being sustainable, we can manage it. So in this project, I was as an architect, but representative of Estonian Woodhouse Association, and also part of it as temp architects company. Estonian architects, or this Woodhouse Association, as maybe some of you already know, is like this group of Estonian best producers who at one point just like understood they are not like competing to each other all the time to get to export markets, but actually they should start cooperating because they have like a common goal. And it's kind of a success story of Estonia, because we are exporting like over 90% of our buildings here, and it's like working really well. And we also, as an architectural office, started to became a member of this association, I think almost like 10 years ago already. So it's we have taken quite a long journey with these guys, and and that's why I was end up into this project actually. But I'm mainly like involved with this Temp Architects, which is an architectural office. It's just now it got its 15th birthday, and it's always been about only like sustainable design, innovation, and it was a logical thing to go to this timber market. When we started 15 years ago, it was quite Estonian centered thing, but soon we saw that this timber market is so international that even the company somehow grow international and so on. And I'm pretty sure Oksana maybe told you a few hours before me about Estonian architecture, and maybe you attempt a bit, and our projects, which are really interesting, and you can check it out yourself. But let's go back to a project in hand. So in this HiTimber project, we had, or not we, but there were 7 main partners who took part of a project. It was via University College from Denmark, Southampton Solent University from UK, University of Applied Sciences from Estonia, Vilnius Gediminas Technical University from Lithuania, Universidade de Lisboa, Portugal, Study and Consulting Center of Lithuania, and Estonian Woodhouse Association from Estonia, of course. And yeah, I was part of a Woodhouse Association group here in this project. So the project HiTimber itself has the official name of sustainable high-rise buildings designed and constructed in timber. Of course, the name was made up by scientists, so it's like really long and not really nice name for a project. So if you like to have a conversation with someone and want to ask him like, oh, how is your sustainable high-rise buildings designed and constructed in timber workshop going on, then you suddenly realize you kind of forgot what the sentence was all about. So there was soon like this short version HiTimber, which came up, which is a really funny slogan for a project, as it is high as a hello, or getting higher the buildings, or the higher knowledge, which is a lot like behind this project. So the HiTimber project is all about three main ideas behind the project. It's of course the timber as an ideal material when grown in sustainably managed forests. That was also what Tom was asking about here earlier, I guess. And it should be already quite common knowledge that you can't just go and cut timber, but you have to sustainably manage it also. Then the second point was the age of high-rise timber buildings has started. Of course, the age of timber has started more than 15 years ago, I guess. But the huge race for the tall buildings has started mainly, I think, like really actively around like 5 years ago. And there's like a lot of crazy, nice, interesting stuff going on in the world, as probably people know who are really taking interest in this high-rise wooden thing. And I think the coolest project being the V350 in Tokyo at the moment, where people are designing and really starting to build also soon the building, which will be 350 meters tall. Maybe most of you already have heard about it. And we even had a talk with this Sumitomo Corporation that maybe one day we will have our own Asian branch in this building even. So we are maybe renting a room there soon. And the third part of this project was education in high-rise timber constructions is really limited at the moment. It is like mainly in Europe limited. It's a bit better in Asia or even Australia or Canada, but in Europe we saw there's like a lot of work to be done to educate people in this matter. And the objective of this HiTimber project was actually to develop like a transdisciplinary and international study module for design, construction, and management of sustainable high-rise timber buildings. So for the needs of today's and future needs, that we can at the same time like teach how to teach teachers even, as otherwise it's not so easy to start designing them. And here are the main objectives. I'm not going to read them out. If anyone is interested, they can go into it a bit more deeply. It somehow, I discovered it almost reads radio if you start from this research, education, development, and improvement and open data, but not quite. But for me, the main thing is the open data, because always in these projects, you should share the knowledge. As this is, I think, the most important thing, that it will be open for everyone to share, to learn, and to use it for the future as well. And of course, there must always be an innovation factor. So, and it wasn't really like difficult, as of course, creating a study module for high-rise timber buildings. It is always innovative. and it was a thing which we thought is lacking in Europe mainly. So these were the main things behind this project. The process itself was that the idea itself, of course, started like years ago, like years before that. But in 2018, there was a kickoff meeting in Estonia to get all the plans in order. And then shortly after that, already the first training courses started in Denmark. The training courses were for students and for teachers as well, because you have to even teach the teachers how to teach the students. And so training courses were for both separately. Then after the training courses, there were some transnational project meetings to learn how to teach the teachers to teach the students. After that, again, some training courses in UK, 2018, then meetings in Lithuania, which was one of the main actually organizers behind this project. Then training courses in Portugal. Then we wanted to have it in Estonia, but of course, you know why, it was in online version. And then final project meeting I think it was in July last year. And I will give you just a short this 2018 April, Southampton Solent University student training course as an example of a process how this HiTimber project actually went on. It's just one section of this whole project, but otherwise it's going to be a 3-hour lecture, and no one wants to sit 3 hours behind their computer on that nice day we have here at the moment. So for all the students, there was a task to redesign an existing reinforced concrete building into a timber structure building in a manner that would follow all the existing construction requirements. And that meant all the students were 14 days or 2 weeks in Southampton, spent only all this time only studying. Students were from 5 different universities. There was altogether 30 students from Portugal, Lithuania, Denmark, UK, Canada, even Zimbabwe and Estonia. and I don't know how many even people who gave lectures and helping out for the whole project altogether. It was quite a huge bunch of people. And there were 27 intense lectures. And intense, I mean, like they were really actually like a few hours long, and we had like excursions to sites and so on. People were told how to like manage how to manage forest, how to design really small details in wooden buildings, onto even information how to calculate the costs of building and so on. So it went quite deep. And on this time, students were actually divided into 5 groups, which were international groups containing of different nationalities and from different universities. And they were all given tasks of different construction solutions to make a comparison to one existing local building. So they had to design a building, for example, the Spider Monkey group had to design a building in modular timber units, in box modulars, II group in column and beam systems from LVL, Giraffe group from column and beam hybrid combination, Soft group from glulam panels, beams and columns, Pinnacle Tiger, solid timber panels from CLT. And so they all got kind of the same task, but different ways how to solve it. And then they were sent to start designing, calculating, doing all the research and everything. So they had to find solutions for new timber building. They made analysis of materials and locations. They didn't so much choose the timber system, but analyzed it quite a lot. They studied the relevant standards, moisture residence, glues, everything, connection systems, made the life cycle span analysis. Then, of course, the carbon footprint, transport solutions, as a lot of it was prefabricated or made offsite. Then cost calculations, made directions, schedules, conclusions, structural analysis, fire, U values and building energy demand, sound. And of course, like all the new designs needed new floor plans, elevation sections, and everything. But the task was they just had to keep in mind that the main building itself would have the same functions, and it should work in the same way. So it can't be like worse than the existing concrete version was. And then yeah, they came up with really like nice designs. Somehow just before starting this presentation, I realized I only had 4 here somehow, but actually there were 5 groups, so I should have like 5 designs also. And but they were like really interesting designs with different construction systems, and the students made not only like sketches of these buildings, but really good construction drawings and all the calculations, energy, everything. So it was amazing to see how I made it in 2 weeks only. Like I'm usually designing a building like this for a couple of months, or like it takes a bit longer time for me usually. So I guess the students just didn't have much sleep time at all. But still, after presenting all their works, somehow later on I saw from a picture that they were still smiling somehow. So it means it wasn't just a torture, but all these like really intense 2 weeks where they had to even learn and draw even on night time. I guess they still enjoyed it. And from this project, so this was only a part of it, but from this project we had a lot of outputs and assignment books translated to different languages and so on. But the most interesting was, of course, the joint academic publications, which are at the moment online, and you can all read about it. For me, this is the most exciting part, because the academic publications usually have like all the real data in it, so you can actually get into the project really well. And I wanted to make this presentation without showing any high-rise buildings at all. At least photos, I almost managed it, but the least or the last thing which actually came from this project was a book about how to design and construct high-rise timber buildings. It's a really nice book. It's 374 pages. You can download it actually from hightimber.eu site. It's for free, of course. It's open data, and it's like amazing data with all these graphs, drawings, and the information how to start designing high-rise buildings actually. So after this lecture day, I advise you all to go and check it out. It's like an interesting page about the whole program, but the book itself is like the best ever. So yeah, please just go and check it out. I think I had to finish at 3, so I have like few minutes. No, only 1. So okay, so now I guess now let's just start designing the future of wooden high rises. There's not like much to do. It's only a sensible thing.